All right, y'all, we in the building now. We got. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Tell them who you are.
Man, I'm Fleece Johnson, Booty Man Warrior.
The Booty Man Warrior. All right, let's take it back from the beginning. Where you born and raised at?
Louisville,
Louisville.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, yeah. On our way coming over here, we saw some projects.
Park Hill.
Okay, that's the biggest project in.
Now we had a lot of projects. The one I came out was called Little Africa. Southwick is West End projects considered the worst in the city. But they tore them all down because lately there's been little advertisement on TV. You know anybody that at best stole this or best stole this, call because you can be involved in $1 billion suit and all this. And most projects have it, so now they tear down the project really to destroy all the evidence, you know. But that's where I came from, the projects, man. Hard down a little Africa. Yeah.
At what age did you start getting in trouble?
I said around about 10.
10
That's
years.
when I took off. It was 10 years old is when I started taking off, man. I went through a whole lot, man. At 10 years old, I had a situation in the house where my mom and them went out to party, and my siblings, I got 3 brothers and 3 sisters. And I went through the house trying to find out where everybody was at, and they and I having sex. So my try to proposition me, and I ain't want to do it. So I said, I'm going to tell. But when mom and them came home, I was up there asleep, and they just came up there and started whooping me, beating me, because they all made up a story to get me a whooping so that if I try to tell on them, ain't nobody gonna believe the shit, right? And it worked, man. This went on and on and on. And then at 10 years old, I told my mama and daddy I'm not gonna cry no more. And my mama whooped me so long, her nose started bleeding, and she couldn't even do it no more. Then my daddy came in, he whooped me with everything he had, and I'm up there talking to him while he's beating me. I got whelps, blood coming all out of me. And he brought his fist up and hit me in the face, right? Knocked me up on the kitchen table. And my brother got up and knocked him out. And so after that, you know, I went through a thing where I got molested as a child, man. And so I didn't know how to take it. I didn't have no brothers to go to, nobody to talk to. All them is enemies. My mom and them don't believe nothing I say now because of my sister. So I'm taking all this shit in, and I'm trying to be a good kid. And just when I couldn't take no more, I picked the guns up. And then I had a friend down in the project. This lady, she used to always talk to me and feed me. Come on in and get something to eat. And she died of drugs, man. And so from then on, I said, I'm gonna rob every drug dealer in this city. Take their drugs and throw the shit away, right? And I did it. I robbed all of them. And then I started getting a little name and reputation. I was carrying them nickel-plated 45. I had 2 of them, right? And I robbed all the crap games. I walk up to a crap game, they be like, I said, what's up? We heard what you doing. I said, look, pop the clip, pull my money out. I just want to shoot dice, win or lose. They put their guns out, I pull the other one out. Should have told you I carried 2 of them. And I dropped that shit, right? So I robbed them. I robbed prostitutes. I used to watch them across the street with binoculars, see where they had their money and shit. They sucked dicks all night and I robbed them. Then I started robbing their pimps. And then I just had a string of situations, and then it got to the point where the people that molested me, both of them, they dead. They end up dead. So I ain't gonna say nothing, but they dead. So I went from there, like, and I'm confused, man. I'm like, I'm out here in this jungle, man, and I gotta survive out here. That's all I'm thinking. So I started messing with the police, see him at a park, at a stoplight, run into him, make him chase me. It went on and on, then the police shot my car up in 74. It's front page Courier Journal. One of them tried to kill me. They fired and gave him a security guard job. A white lady said she was working across the street, came out on the break and saw this little boy, me. All of a sudden hit the window, got him outside and killed him, right? So I'm on trial in Louisville for this. On a big trial, all the police is in Louisville is in the courtroom that day. They waiting on the verdict. They said, is he anywhere in this courtroom? And when she looked over at me, I did my little baby thing. I used to do my mama like that, you know. You know, this is innocent. Now I'm a child anyway, right? She took her head sideways, like scrunched her ass, and she said no. So they erupted. Police went crazy, and I was cussing them and throwing my hands. Black power, we was talking black power stuff back in them days, so they mad. So soon I came out of the courtroom, police is outside, was out there waiting on the verdict and stuff. And I just, while they talking, police car was in the street still running. I jumped in and stole it. I said, fuck y'all. And stole the car right there in front of them. So now they say he's crazy. We got to catch this little young punk and put him in prison. Well, they sent me to a mental hospital, Central State. I escaped out there 3 times, man. They used to dope me up, man. I mean, I couldn't even shut my mouth and they had me so medicated. Last time I escaped, I psyched them little crazy people up to help me. While they got the man, I hit the lady with a chair on top of her head, took her keys, took a car across the bridge, and took it. And when they pinned me on the bridge, state trooper them. They had this T roadblock. I know I can't bust through them. I can bust through these, but not them. I said, shoot, if I go back to the hospital, they gonna fuck me up. I took the car off the bridge. That's made them do Courier Journal front page. And then when I hit the water, before the car hit the water, I done squeezed myself out. We hit the water at the same time. I went under the bridge, pants and stuff filling up with water. I kicked all that stuff off and swam. So when they found my stuff, they said a fish ate me. Some old crazy shit. My mom and them thought I was dead. They had a funeral. They had all that stuff, real funeral. And 3 months later, I peeked around the corner at my mama. She's in there reading a magazine. Hey, mama! And when dad, she thought she... But then again, I'm back in the streets now, robbing. Got these pistols, and they know I'm deadly when I come on the corner. I come on the corner with these OGs. I look, and I tell one of them, I said, who got it, bro? He take his head and point at somebody like that. I'll draw on him, you know, take his shit. So, this stuff, I re-robbed 16 places, man. I go in a place, rob it, tie him up, go next door, rob him, tie them up, go down the street, rob them, tie them up. So, on the last one, we got busted. Them motherfuckers got me in that it's the first time I'm in jail now. I'm 14. Then I turned 15 in jail, 16 in the penitentiary. Yeah, they say we sending him to prison. So soon I get there, I had 2 brothers, 2 cousins, and soon I got there, I seen some dude, he said, he saw me, somebody I robbed on the street. He dropped all his shit. He said, this is gonna be a good goddamn day, and took off running. Like, I don't know what that means, you know. Go get you something, go. We tore him up anyway, right? So, they not satisfied with me. They tell these, I'm in a reformatory. Send this to the worstest prison we got, Eddyville. So I go down there to Eddyville. And I've been hearing a lot about it because the prison I was in, when the guards come through at nighttime, said, if I call your name, you're going to Eddyville Penitentiary. Anthony Start. Oh, God! Oh, no, please! They was that scared of Eddyville, right? I said, man, what the f*** is in Eddyville? So when they sent me, they called my name out. I said, good. Like that. They said, we'll see if you feel that way when you get there. So when I get there, I meet one of the dudes that was on my little boxing team at LaGrange, right? He said, hey, man, They got a thing in here where you don't eat cheese. I said, why? You eat cheese, they say you a wreck. Don't nobody eat this shit. And they had cheeseburgers on. I said, hey, man, can I get some, man? He said, you sure can. Try to be nasty. Put a big block on my plate, right? They had steel trays back in. So he said, man, I ain't gonna sit at this table. I said, man, go on somewhere, ass nigga. Weak. So I sat down and I saw hearing somebody holler, rat, rat, rat. I said, who's doing that shit? So I ate my cheeseburger. I spot the table. One for looked me right in my face and said, I said, okay, let me go over and do it. So I took that tray like I was gonna dump, smack the shit out of it and mop that table, right? But they didn't think I was gonna come out of the hole. So when I came out, this tall black dude, he said, hey. I said, yeah. I don't know who you are, but I like what you did. I'm too old to fight. But you gonna need this. Gave me a butcher knife, a real one. Back then you can get that shit out of the kitchen and all that shit. They got it tight now, you can't get shit out of it now, but I looked down there towards the hospital and here they come, a whole bunch of white boys come down the steps coming down. I'm down about the gym. I said, fuck it. I walked up the steps. I said, shit. Pulled the knife out and just started running towards them, right? I said, I'm gonna wipe some of them. They got me, but I'm gonna get their ass too. And they scared. They said, hold up, man, hold up. Hold up, man, we didn't come to fight, man. Hey, man, we like what you did, man. I don't know who put that shit out. They tell man, give me that knife, man. They go up there, he had a rifle. He done spotted something, he getting ready to shoot. So I put the knife off like that, I got it back though. But that was my first little situation. So I know I can fight now, right? They put me in the cell with this black nigga. They called him what was that ugly nigga name? Big Doc. He was about 6'5", real dark, had a big old nose. His nose about the size of my fist. Nigga had red eyes too, looked just like a big black monster, right? See, I didn't know when they put me in the cell that there was a hole in the wall. And this nigga took some cement back then they can get their hands on and put it over some paper. When it hardened, he blowed up a little balloon thing, put some baby powder in there and tied it. Braced it in the wall real good and put that over and painted it so it looked like the regular wall. I guess he put a little mark where he know where to hit. So when he run his hand through there and that bag bust, boom, it looked like he done knocked some bricks and shit out of the wall, right? And all that white shit will look like fragments of cemented dust floating in the air, but it ain't no but baby powder. See, I wasn't prepared for this shit, right? So I done traded my knife. I had another knife at that time, a little bitty pear knife about that big. So I'm sitting on the bottom bunk and he said, hey. I said, yeah. He said, shit. So scratching down there and his thing popped out, right? So I said, okay, I know what time this shit is, right? I tried to ignore this shit, right? He said, this is your cell as much as it's mine. He said, oh, shit. So scratching again, his thing popped out again, right? He said, all I ask you to do is have clean up, you know, don't let nobody in my cell, you know. And then his thing is hard, and it's out of his drawers. So I said, man, you got to say something, man. This nigga, you know, the door is locked and all this shit. This nigga's big. And I was little then, right? You know, I just started developing my boxing skills and shit. So I ain't there yet. So I'm like, say something, man. So I got like a little tiny voice, like Tyson almost, right? I said, hey, man, why don't you show me some respect? He said, show you what? I said, shit. I said, respect. You don't think I'm gonna show you this big black cop? And took his hand and ran it through that hole, bam! It was shaking his arm like it was stuck in him. I'm up over his shit. This nigga done ran his hand through a goddamn wall. Oh, goddamn. And then he ran up, when he pulled his arm out, all that white shit all over his knuckles and shit, and I'm looking up at him like that. He said, stand up. stand up. I'm like, oh, God damn. I say, look, man, don't do this, man. He said, nigga, stand up. So I said, come on, man. He's a nigger. I said, man, if that nigga hit me, he gonna run his head through my goddamn chest. Fucking shit. I stood up, right? So he got right there, put his big lips on my ear, and motherfucker said, do I go fight you, nigga? All that shit. I couldn't even think straight. I said, only thing I can think of is nigga arm went through that wall, right? I don't know how to even evaluate this shit, right? He wouldn't even give me time to think. And then he was coming out with shit, and that nigga said, do I gotta fight you, nigga? Damn it. I said, no. Shit, nigga, just tell me where nigga, I'm gonna give this shit up. Nigga, you want my, you give me. But he made his mistake. See, I forgot about that little knife I had on me, right? He said, come here. You gonna be mad? I said, yeah. And nigga, and I was serious, nigga, to take me, nigga. Shit, fucking nigga run his head through my chest, right? And then the nigga kissed me, man. When I felt that big nasty ass tongue in my mouth, big like a big cow tongue, like a boot, like the lip of a shoe lip or something. It was so nasty, man. I said, no, shit. That thing hit. I said, that nigga gonna have to kill me. Fucking nigga kiss me like that. So I hit him about 6 times real quick. And ran to the gate, started hollering, ah! Then all the inmates hollered, man down, guard, man down, man down. So I ran back on his ankles and ran back and nigga hit the floor. I ran back, I was just slicing, man. I was nervous. I said, man, if this nigga get up, it's over. You saw that nigga run his hand through that ball, right? And all them guards ran up and he said, man, come on, man. I said, shut up, nigga. I went down his way. I was just anyway, you ain't getting up. I was hitting his feet. Now, he was trying to move his feet, and I was hitting his toes and all this shit. So when they came up, I'll show you how nasty they are. They said, back up. I backed up like that. They said, drop the weapon. Drop the goddamn weapon. I said, if I drop in that motherfucker spring up, it's over. Open the door, get this out of here first. Then I gave it to him. Them motherfuckers took me to the hole. And you won't believe this shit. Took me in front of the committee the next day. Said, we're going to let you out of the hole, drop the charges. You'll never see him again. Put me right back in the mother, because they were real racist down there. And put me back in, I had to clean up all the blood and all this shit. Everything in there that was his is now mine. You know, thanks for the stereo and all this shit, nigga. They had 8 tracks and shit back in, right? You know, so it went well. So from then on, everybody on the yard is like, hey, man, what's up, young man? I say, hey. So they like, hey, this nigga, this little young motherfucker, he's some shit, right? Boy, the next time I went to the hole, see, this is what changed me. They walk past all the cells. When you go in the hole, you see a whole bunch of dirty cells, clean cells. Then the guard said, open cell 11. Shut the door, took the handcuffs off, all this shit. So I flipped my mattress back. Floor got water all over the floor and shit. So I said, hey, man. He said, yes. I said, can y'all put me in another cell? It's got water all over. He said, no. I said, let me talk to the lieutenant. He said, lieutenant's busy. I said, bitch, let me talk. Lieutenant! I said, how? So he come up there. He said, turn around and be handcuffed. I said, what you doing? He said, you disturbing the walk. I said, how the fuck? He said, bring him. So they rushed me off the wall, took me downstairs, took me down in the dungeon, stripped me naked, and 4-pointed me. I'm like this, ankles and shit, 4-point on my stomach. So it's real hot down there. So I went to sleep, man. You know how you cuss and shit, then you get tired. I woke up, man, it was like 500 flies eating out of my ass, bro. Flies. I couldn't even get them out. Every time I moved, they go deeper, like I had a vibrator in my goddamn right? And I was just so up over shit. I was like, oh! And then they buzzing and shit, man. One of them felt like he was in me, right? And mother flag felt like it was like my shit was over. I couldn't even shake him out. And another ass shit, so I just laid. I said, take this shit, man. This motherfucker in the field, they eat my ass out, right? And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna get him back. They got me up. These white motherfuckers got me up down there, right? So when I got back up on my walk, I told everybody on the walk, when you shit, send it down to me in a cup. 'Cause I got a bucket. I'm gonna get them back. You ain't gonna disgrace me like that. So I took 5 cans of Magic Shade, put it in. I had duty. I chopped up. I don't want it bounce off of you. I'm make it thick like a milkshake. I'm gonna make a motherfucker stick on you. When you rub it, you be smearing it. Put broken and I make it cut your motherfucker. And then that Magic Shade gonna make your hair come out. So that's the trip part. And put milk in a sour milk and some funky shit, right? And let it sit. So they say, here it comes, Fleece. Don't do it, man. These will kill you. Man, when he came down, he said, you won't see me about something, Johnson? I said, yeah, boost. And motherfucker stood back and just started throwing up and did like he had a beard. His beard came off, so he had tripped him out. So now here come a whole lot of them. When they come in front of my door, I got the whole crowd. Now the policy says the only thing you can do, he shit down, y'all can't be part of the crew that comes and get him. Only thing y'all can do is write him up. He threw shit on me. See, they were stung on that point. They didn't want to go past that point right there. Then they got to the point they now want to talk to me. Hey, Johnson, can we talk to you? I said, yeah, come up here a little closer, 'cause I can't really hear you, you know. And I don't want to inmates hear what I got to say, and he walk up close, boost. So I got all of them. I got the nurses, I got the doctors. They brought some people in from Frankfurt, lawmakers and shit. They want to see what the is going on in this penitentiary. These guards are saying they getting shit down. Then I got all the inmates joined in on it, right? I said, if you don't shit them down, you gonna get shit down. And you put that on every goddamn walk, you know, and so everybody took it. So now we got a shit war going on. To when they feed us, they'll come on the bullhorn, Fleece Johnson. I said, yeah, I'm in the last cell. We get ready to come on and walk and feed the inmates. I said, yeah, give everybody 2 trays. And they do it. So we had a field day for 6 years. We threw shit on them until they came out with a law saying now it's a felony. So we fell back. But about at that time, man, I'm still fighting in there, man. I'm having like trouble with these in here. And like his black guard. Another thing y'all didn't know, I went 21 days without eating in prison. 21 days. They had one of them old chalk mouth black dudes, and he's thought he was white. He's a lieutenant. He's milk in a hole. And I said, hey, Mr. Colby, can I get some more milk, man? He don't like no city talk, no slick talk. You sure can through the whole picture in my face, right? You think twice before you man me again, won't you, boy? When he came back on the walk, I threw piss in his face. He came back and said, you know what, Johnson? I like you because you stand up for yourself and you will fight back. And I respect that in a man. I took that for granted. And when I was getting ready to eat my food, I seen all them bugs and worms and shit that black nasty nigga done put in my food. I said, okay, now, here's what I'm gonna do about that. I'm not eating. They said, yeah, you. I said, no, I won't. So now they said, you on a hunger strike? I said, yeah, a hunger strike to live, not to die, to live. So they couldn't figure that part out. They said, who's your representative? I said, the Muslims. So, you know, you contact them if I got to go to the death and explain to them. So then, when we got on 15 days, they would open my door and put food from McDonald's, Mount John Silver, KFC, whole lot of it on my, right there. I could smell it good as hell too, boy. I thought, oh God. When I got to 21 days, I went from 196 to 132 pounds in 21 days. They always come over and always make me stand on, take every day now. When he got past 10 days, the nurse will come over and make me take my weight. Make me get on the scale and see if I'm really eating or not eating. If anybody's sneaking me food, I ain't eating shit. And then they transferred me to North Point. Luther Lucky. And when I got there, Lieutenant Gill, I'm filing a lawsuit because I'm in it. I said, I'm going to sue these now. My ink ran out. So I went in the office and this lady, Miss Black, I said, do you have a pen? So Lieutenant Gill, he said, no, she ain't got no pen. I said, there's a whole big cup of them right there. He said, give me that pen you got. He said, it's a state issue. I'm going to consider it contraband. Get the out of his office. So I went to see the legal aid. He said, no, they can't take it to us because they give it to us to issue out to y'all. I said, thank you. So I went back to the office and somebody was getting ready to come out. I kicked the door and the door went back and the whole window bust out. I reached over and grabbed all the shit. I said, ain't nobody taking a goddamn thing from me, right? He said, you go to administrative control unit. Try to grab me, I mopped him. Mopped his. Let me tell you what I did to her. Tore her whole dress off. Everybody said, man, pull out them panties, dog. Cause the guard done ran. I done beat him. He done ran out the door. Ain't no stop me. I got this bitch. I was whooping her, right? Nasty ass bitch. I said, man, all you niggas need to do, y'all niggas, you need to get a pillowcase, turn some holes in it, and put a blanket over his bitch, take her on in that shower. They did it. They came out with shit over their face, covered that bitch, took in that bathroom, tore her up. I went outside, and I got a piece of a broken chair in my hand. So here they come from the administration building, running down her. So all the inmates out there said, police dropped the weapon, man. I said, then when they came out, they said, drop the goddamn weapon, drop it. I said, make me drop it. They said, police, they would shoot you, man. Drop. I went on and dropped it and all that shit. They tried to, after they handcuffed, when they get you handcuffed, they want all that old shit. I said, okay, have fun. But they sent me back to Eddyville. Eddyville sent me to Easton, where Gerald was at. Now they call that Easton was considered them little young ones down there, but they wasn't no joke. Gladiator school, that's what they called it. And I said, I'm not gonna stay down there. I killed one of them, man. I went in. The warden's wife was a unit administrator. I said, I'd like to go back to Eddyville. She said, you just got here. You got to be here a minimum of 6 months before we can consider transferring you. I said, look, I don't want to force my way. She said, did you say force? Are you making a threat? Because I can put you in the hole. I said, man, fuck this shit. Jumped up on her desk, pulled my pants down, and shit right there in front of her on her goddamn desk. Reached down, grabbed some paper, wiped my ass through it, and it stuck on her, right? I said, call somebody. When they took me to Eddyville, they took me naked, laid me on the motherfucking thing, and left. And the lady in the tower, the warden lived across the street, came across, said, is this how they brought him? Then the senior captain came, he said, call the state trooper and have them stop there and lock them up. They got locked up for that. They didn't give this brought me there like that. So I've been through a lot of shit. I'm talking a lot. I need to let y'all ask me some questions.
No, you good. You doing good. I mean, whenever you're ready.
So, by that time, I started getting into boxing and all this stuff, and my hands got a little good. I stayed in fights and stuff for a while, Some of my fights I started. And with Donut. Donut was, he was going with this sissy, gonna move in the cell with him. They say the sissy was rich. Donut was a gangster on the street. So I took his sissy's canteen, and then I'm on the wall. I said, Donut, you hear I took your boy's stuff? He said, look, let me tell you something. He said, I remember you when you was young. I used to run you home, boy. I ain't got time for this. I said, you, your mammy. It killed the whole comment. My mouth was nasty like that. Came out in that morning, I looked at that nigga and said, bam! He hit me right there, black both my eyes with one punch, right? He made a mistake when we was going down, you know, this is late night for breakfast. So he stand over in the corner. He said, you want some more? I said, yeah, I do. You know, cause where I came
Yeah,
from,
I
you
do.
get your lick back. It ain't over till you get that lick back. I tore him up. But when I came out of the kitchen, the gym just opened. So I went up in the top bleachers and I'm looking out the window. I heard somebody holler, block that way out, block that door out. So here come him and all his crew running up, pulling out weapons and shit. They said, don't let him run, block that door out. Then the Tinsley brothers came in and they stopped it. No, come on, man, he's young, y'all don't. So all that was stopped, you know. And then Country pulled a knife on me, headed at my throat, nigga crying and shit. I killed him. They said, come on, Country, man, come on, man. He said, oh, man, he deserved to die. When they got the knife away, they said, apologize to him, I knocked him out. Nigga, you. Ain't no way in the world we can stay on this loop. Nigga, you pull a weapon on me, you gotta go. Got to go, I'm not doing that shit. You know, watching my back over none of you motherfuckers, right? So I fought. And then these sissies, man, the booty man thing. See, now I done been in a while, nuts is hot, all this shit. And you know, I ain't never had a girl on the street, cause I was locked up as a child.
How long you had been in at this time?
Man, I've been in about 18, 20 years, right?
And you had never messed around?
No, I used to talk about them. You nasty motherfucker, God should burn all you son of a all this shit, right? And what I was fighting was the fact that I was finding some of them motherfuckers attractive that was making me mad, right? I was like, hold up, man, I know I ain't supposed to call. I see one motherfucker, his ass was so big and beautiful. I said, God damn. Motherfucker got buffalo ass, right? You know, motherfucker got thunder back there. His ass is powerful. And and then when you stay there, you watch suck dicks every day. You go in the shower, see people getting in their ass. Everything down there look like it was normal. Motherfuckers getting married, fighting, and all this shit. Arguing with their sissy. Look, baby, you know I love you. No, you don't love me. You was with that bitch. Look, I wasn't with the bitch. I said, God damn. You And they talk about two men, then one dude go on a visit, and his wife, his baby's mama come and see this. He kissed on the visit, motherfucker come and told his sissy. He come on and visit, hey baby. She said, hold it for me. Went up to the door and said, he got a knife in that bag. His name was Baltimore and his sister's name was Marie. And they gave him 3 years in prison. He went right back to the sister. Made him call his wife and tell his wife that he's married to the sissy and he wanted to divorce her. She like, what kind of goddamn shit is this? But then my situation turned, man, after a while, man, I seen this little young one come in. He was about 19. Boy, he was a real nice personality, don't cuss. I don't even know how he even ended up in prison, but he was a girl. And his ass was thunder. This motherfucker, God damn it. He spoke to me once. He said, how you doing? I said, don't speak to me, nasty motherfucker. So he ain't saying, he said, I'm sorry. So I guess he went to somebody, what's wrong with that? You know, then people used to come to, hey, police, look, he's young, man. And I said, nigga, get out of my face, nigga. What you gonna, did you get ready to go his dick? Oh, nigga, you know how you, nigga, get out of my face. All this shit, right? And so one day I was frustrated, man, went and took a shower. Everybody's at work, some motherfuckers stayed in. Well, nobody in there but me and him. But I ain't seen him come in. I was in there by myself first. Soon as the shower opened, I went in, right? So somebody come in, I heard somebody washing, I heard some, so I turned around. That motherfucker had his back arched. I seen that soap coming down his back, going down his crack of his ass. And that was so built. I said, shit. So I got up in the back of him. I said, hey. He said, yeah. I said, you already know me. And you know, if you tell somebody, I'm gonna beat you to death, right? I said, spread that open. Went up in it, right? And that was the first time I ever come, and it scared me. You know, just like electricity went through me. I said, ooh, this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like, you know. And, um, and I was nervous, man, because this motherfucker had my head fucked up. He had me thinking that I got him pregnant and all this shit, right? Because, you know, I ain't never had no motherfucker, right? No woman. You know, I've been locked up. And he came back to me about a month later. He said, hey, can I talk to you? I said, yeah, what's up? He said, I went down to the doctor. I said, what's wrong with you? He said, you don't know. I'm thinking he's going to say he got AIDS or some type of disease. AIDS wasn't out at that time, but some type of disease, right? So I'm getting ready to go to work. I said, what is it? He said, I said, you can't holler in front of me. He said, I said, go ahead and whisper. I'm at my poker table, right? Poker game going. Just one motherfucker just said, I'm all in. I'm the housemate. This motherfucker got big money. If I call this motherfucker, nigga, this. I said, what? I'm pregnant. I said, oh shit. I said, oh goddamn. They said, what's up, police? I said, man. I said, are you for real? Did they tell you that? She said, yes. Don't talk loud. Dude said, what? I said, man, my baby's pregnant. They said, for real, nigga. So police, let me talk to you. He said, look, man. He said, look. I don't care if I lose this hand, man. Look, let me get your head right, man. So I'm serious about this shit. I said, what's up, man? So he goes, I'm ready to fight this. Nigga, you talking about a son or a daughter I'm getting ready to have, nigga. You gonna run your goddamn mouth and shit, right? So I'm like, up on this shit. And this, he said, man, he's a man, police. Motherfucker got dick and nuts just like you. He cannot have. I said, look, bruh, choose your words, your next words, choose them wisely. He said, all right, man, I'm done with that, police. I'm done with that. I said, choose your next words wisely, nigga. You can talk about my kids, all this shit, right? So my head was up, so we walking around, and I'm up with this shit. So I said, man, how I'm gonna tell my mama and them about this shit, man? And I called my mama, man. I said, I'm gonna have to trust her, man, because she don't like this gay shit anyway, right? I said, mama. She said, hi, honey. I said, what I'm about to tell you, I hope you look at it, you know, with a clear man. She said, what is it? I said, Mom, I don't know how it happened, but she's pregnant. She said, who? I said, she said, you know what? She hung up on my head. Man, my daddy come down there. He said, where your wife at? I said, why everybody coming down here talking to, I said, you know what? They had to almost take me through some therapy to get that shit cleared in my head, right? Because I'm thinking this motherfucker was pregnant, right? Now I'm going to beat him to death, man, for lying to me, right? Motherfucker, you lied, you try to get me to claim drop something that ain't even going to happen, motherfucker. And, yeah, it happened. So, motherfucker said, all my dogs, though, they like, man, police, you in the game, man. I said, yeah. God damn, dog. I was here, nigga. Drank the rest of it. He said, you alive. Man, come on, police, man. Nigga, you know how we drink pop out of each other and shit, nigga? Same. They talk this shit. I called him taking one up in his butt about 8 months later, right? I said, oh, God. For real? He said, oh, man, look, man, you ain't see what you. What do you mean I didn't see what I. How could I miss that? Nigga had like a baseball up in you, nigga. Baseball bat up in you. You on your toes and shit. But after that, man, I just said, man, I ain't never getting out. I started picking up time. I had to fight this dude, Can do. When I threw shit on the nurse, she was considered like one of them nurses that all the guards wanted, uh, all the inmates wanted, and I shit her down. I mean bed. And so they put me in the dungeon for 21 days without a shower and all this shit. So when they put me back on the walk, they put me in the last cell. They always put me in the last cell so they don't have to walk past me and I have nothing thrown on them. So this, I'm up there and getting ready to wash up because I ain't had a shower in 21 days, stinking and shit. So this nigga took his mirror and stuck it around the thing, saw me washing up. So he said, hey. I said, yeah. He wrote a note. He said, you got a cold? So I said, I already know what I got here. I wrote it back. I said, thank you. So I started washing up again. I could see when he signed the mirror, the light reflected a short look. I said, he's looking again. So he said, hey. I said, yeah. He wrote a note. He said, do you mess around? So I wrote back, I said, it depends. He said, on what, that it goes both ways? I said, yeah. He said, well, I'll tell you what, when you get through, doing that, washing up, and they cut the lights off, he said, I'll jack you off and maybe you can turn the table. I said, that sounds like a good deal we can shake on. so after I got done, when they cut the lights off, man, I stood up. I said, you ready? He said, yeah. So I stood up on my bed, stuck my thing through the bars, and loaded it up with grease and shit, right? I said, make it pop, man. So I closed my eyes. I shot good, too. Went back over and washed off. Laid in the bed, so I'm done. So he beating on my wall now, right? I said, what's up, man? You think you gonna return, man? I said, no, I'm not, man. I said, I didn't ask you to jack, man. He said, you nobody jack, y'all. Then somebody down the hall said, yeah, you did. I was looking in the mirror, I saw you stroke. He said, tell me what cell you in. My name is Can Do. No, he was he stabbed some people in another prison. So he's trying to come off tough. So him. So the next day when I come out on the walk, they was exercising me by myself at that time, right? Because I was so violent and fighting and shit. And motherfucker threw a couple of picks in my face. And shit went in my mouth too. I said, okay. Nasty motherfucker. I said, I'm gonna get you some, bitch. He said, yeah. And he hung a blanket up so I couldn't throw nothing back. I ain't going through all this shit right now, but I'm gonna get you down the line. So this lady named Kathy, she's a guard. Talk real harsh. She like, hey, Fleece. That's how she talk. I said, yeah. I heard what Can Do did. You want to get him back? I said, yeah. She said, well, I'm going to let him out for a legal call and then accidentally open your door. I said, that'd be good enough for me. So I took that porcelain and tore it out of the floor, right? So when my door opened, I'm running down the hall like it was a toilet, trying to tip. It sat down at the step right there. I'm trying to tip, right? So when I come down first, he looked up. I said, "Whoo!" Knocked this shoulder, knocked it all the way down and up. But he took off running, right? He ran in. So I ran, jumped over the rail, grabbed the toilet, and slammed it. Now I got a lot of pieces. So he ran all the way in the back, and you can climb up the bars and be on the second tier, where his cell was at up there. So I was aiming shit, throwing it, and making sure he couldn't pick up what I threw, right? To throw it back, right? Cause I had a whole bunch of it. So he made it to his cell. So they were hollering at the door, get in your cell, Dawson, get in your cell. Shoot them little pepper ball things, all that shit. So I told my man, I'm gonna get this son, bitch. So I went up there, I threw all that shit up there, and climbed up from the back and was bombing him. So he went up there, he took his mattress and held that, and I was hitting the top, making it ricochet down on him. So he went up under the bed. So I took and put toilet paper and a blanket in there and smoked them out, right? Lit it. While they hollering, I got some time out of there too, you know, and I lit him up. But this motherfucker did something that I wasn't expecting. He went to court with me and tried to defend me. Said that, you know, I wasn't trying to hear him. He didn't get hurt or nothing like that. But they took the gold thing. They gave me 3 years. I said, okay. But I weighed him off. He ain't an enemy no more. You know, we fought, motherfucker. And then I had a fight with Lil Money.
Wait, let me ask you this. I got three questions in one I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Because when you was getting all this time, did you ever think about escaping, or did you try? And did you ever fall in love with someone while you was in there? And who, if you did?
Man, at prison was so secure, and well, that was a big escape bird when I was there, but they done sent me to another prison. I would have been on it. It was 8 people escaped out of the hole. They call it the Great Escape. They went in Tennessee and killed some old people, and that's when they just sat down on the whole premises. But yeah, I wanted to escape, but they sent me to another prison. You know, and a prison, I tore up everything in that prison I was in. Like I tell the guards, I say, hey man, y'all need to get us some new toilets. Well, y'all ain't gonna get none. I said, yeah, we will. So I turned off the floor and busted. Now you gotta put a new one in. Paint the wall? Nah, I throw feces all over the wall. Now you gotta get it off and repaint it. So that's how we get shit done. So I mean, I tore up all this shit. So they sent me to North Point, and they built a cell down there. They spent $40,000 on it. It's a destructive-proof cell. They say he cannot turn something. I tore the whole door off after 8 months, right? But yeah, I wanted to escape. And your next question was, did I ever find somebody in there?
Did you ever fall in love with someone?
Hell yeah. And I want to talk to you about that. Yeah, I did. Cause like I said, when I went into prison, man, I was a child, man. I never even had a girlfriend. So the first time I come in the ass, man, I'm like, I'm there, nigga. I'm there all the way, nigga. I'm in love. You know, I thought I got this pregnant, all this shit. I was confused about this shit. They had my fucking head messed up. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was up in there, man. And it took me a while before I took almost a year and a half believing that I got a baby on the way. You know, and so yeah, I did fall in love, man. And speaking of love, I'm gonna share this with y'all. I shared it with everybody else. Something to take back with you. Have y'all ever heard the phrase, I did it out of love? She did it out of love. He did it out of love. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard that phrase? Somebody done something. Why you do it, man? I did it out of love, man. And y'all would say, bullshit, that ain't love. But check this out. You did do it out of love. You stepped out of love. And that's why you did what you did. Yeah, you damn right you did it out of love. You was not in love at the time you did what you did. I said what you said. Take that with you. Now, ask me some more.
This T-shirt from New Orleans. I want to ask you a question.
Who?
His name T-shirt.
That's my name, T-shirt.
T-shirt.
Yes, sir.
You used to steal T-shirts?
Yeah. I got a question though, brother. Did you ever have a sexual relationship with a male guard while incarcerated?
No, I haven't, but I had a friend that did. This guard named, he was a captain, Captain Hope. He was nasty, the nastiest boy, all inmates hate him. He told us, let me tell y'all inmates something. My brother's coming here to work, and he's out of the army. He's a special ops, all this shit. Y'all think I'm rough? Wait till y'all meet him. I holler, your brother. So they take me to the hole. They know I don't care about the hole. I had to show them that. They gave me 27 years in the hole. I did 12 flat in the hole. 12 years. Nobody ever did that much. They put me in that dungeon where they got that, you sink down in the shit. Nobody ever made it 3 days. I made it 2 weeks in that motherfucker. 21 days without eating. And then his brother come. Well, soon I seen him, big old thick army legs, big old thick. Boy, his booty was one of them what you call bubble butts. And he was walking and that thing was shaking. I said, oh. They said, don't do it, Fleece. So I said, I'm going to scab my voice on this. I said, man, shake that big. Look like that. So they stopped. Who said that? Who said? I said, you know who said it. With the big dick said it. So they said, you know what? They made me confess though, because they went to somebody like you. They said, well, if you don't confess, we're gonna lock him up. Now you was a dangerous motherfucker. I said, I better confess this shit. I said, I did it, man. I ain't gonna fight this. You know, that's how they do shit to make you talk, right? So Turk, a sister named Turk, came to my cell and said, hey. I said, what's up, Turk? Turk said, you know, cause when I had my stores, I always give Turk stuff on the strength. Free too. Turk do a lot of legal work and span and shit for me. So Turk gave me some weed. A baggie full of weed. A baggie. Now you get weed in the joint, you might get a little pen joint, a baggie. I said, where's it come from? And when he told me it came from dude's brother, that he was him, I said, nah, you ain't. He said, yeah. I said, his ass is powerful. I said, what is it? He said, powerful. I said, oh, thunder. I said, oh, God. So I'm turning, and he got caught. He got caught by Sergeant Vincent, one of his mouth is nasty. Vincent, he's a mouth runner, but I cool with him at times, right? He said, goddamn idiot. Goddamn idiot up here getting in his ass, cornhole in his ass by a black sissy. I heard him on the damn thing. So they came and locked his brother up, so locked the sissy up and all that. And so when his brother came through the captain, about 2 weeks later, he was making rounds. I said, how you doing, Captain Hope? You know I ain't used to speaking to him. He said, how you doing, Johnson? I said, how your brother doing? I know he's so out taking that big ass dick. I said, take me to the hole, you son of a bitch. This ain't police. Why? He said, I said, I gotta say this shit, man. I said, I just wanted this, I'll take that to the hole. But that's what happened to me and man. And I ended up doing a whole time, 12 years flat in the hole. Next thing you know, I just say, you know what? I got to show these people. Your write-up, I don't give a about your write-up. Go ahead.
You spoke about being in the hole. If you had to pick one celly, who would you pick? Usher, P. Diddy, or LeBron James? And why?
LeBron.
Why would you pick LeBron?
Man, that nigga gonna get me paid. That nigga, his skills. Nigga, I got a motherfucking about playing myself, nigga. Nigga gonna go out there, I'm gonna bet on him. I'm gonna make money off of him. That's who I wanted myself, a real that I could trust and shit like that, right? All them P. Diddy motherfucker, I would spot them, I'd be like, nah, motherfucker, you ain't coming in here. You know what I'm saying? Usher, you ain't coming in here, little punk ass. You'll take your little dancing ass on somewhere, nigga. LeBron's kick it with. A nigga, you coming that nigga, we can kick it, nigga, do some money deals, all this shit, right? But yeah, I would pick him as a celly, man. For real. Before I got out, I was in a cell when they sent me to Eastern with, I don't know if y'all heard of him. His name is Ron Palmer. You Google that name, he's considered pound for pound, the strongest man in the world. They call him the Michael Jordan in weights, right? And he was locked up at Easton, Ron Palmer. And we was bunkies, man. He had, I wouldn't believe it, like he had these weightlifting magazines with him on the front cover of the magazines and inside of it with Arnold Schwarzenegger and all them, powerful. But I was in there with him, and he was cool.
Please, I want to ask you this because you've been through a lot, even while in prison. My question is, was it ever a point in your life where you wanted to take your own life, and did you ever have a low point in life?
I had something I lived by. I used to see people do that shit in there. Like this one white boy, he used to get on my nerves and shit. He be doing that little stupid shit, cut his little wrist, they go crazy. And so he said, Johnson. I said, what? He said, could you cut me? I said, yeah. I said, hold up. So I told my sheet made a little a rope, a loop. I said, stick your arm around her. I said, I'm just gonna cut it a little. And he stuck around, put that thing around it and tied it around the door. I sliced the shit. I just kept, he was like, ah. And then I cut the string, threw it in the toilet, wiped all this shit out, and the guards ran on the wall, seen all that blood and shit. But I never thought about coming. I have always lived by this. I would hurt the that got me to that before I hurt me. If a motherfucker got me to the point where I'm thinking all this shit, nah, I ain't gonna hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you. And God told me, he said, Fleece, you can't wear these bars out. I said, I know I can't. I said, I can wear yours out though. I bet you that. And I did. I made them motherfuckers throw me out. Not only throw me out, but when I told you I went back to prison to get off parole, kill it, all the prisons I went to said we ain't gonna take them. There was one prison called Little Sandy Hook I never been to. They said they snuck me in there, and the warden them came to me. They said, "What's your business here?" I said, "Man, look." I told them what I want to do. They said, "We'll make sure you get in programs," and they said your word is good. I want your word. I said, yeah, man, I ain't down there causing no trouble or nothing. I did that year. That's the first time I did a year without getting a write-up. Came out, kept that whole 7.5 years in 1 year. I don't owe their ass shit now. And they like, go ahead. Now go.
This boy Diesel from out the mouth.
Huh?
Diesel from out the mouth.
What'd he say?
Diesel. My name Diesel from out the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I just come from doing 30 years, and I've seen hundreds of guys like yourself who've been a prisoner who never had a female before.
Right.
My question to you is, have you ever seen a father have his own son as his sissy?
Uh-uh.
I have.
But I've seen some, yeah, I've seen something worse than that, though.
Like what? What's worse than, what's worse than
That's
that?
what I've seen worse than that. I'm sitting there talking to this black dude. So usually I don't ask people why you locked up and all this shit, right? He said, Felice, you ever gonna get out? I said, I don't give a about getting out. What about you? He said, maybe someday. He said, you know why I'm in there? I said, no. He said, I tried to kill my daddy. I said, why? He got pregnant. He got a girl pregnant and get ready to marry her. Come home one day and his daddy was over. So his daddy asked him, what you doing over here? He said, what you mean when I'm, this is where I live at. And I'm glad you're over here, Dad. I want you to meet my fiancée. He said, boy, it's your sister. Never told him he had a stepsister, right? And when he heard that, man, he almost beat his daddy to death, right? And he ended up in prison. So I asked him, I said, did she have the baby yet? He said, yeah, man, it's twins, man, boys. I said, so what y'all gonna do now that you know it's your sister, you her brother? He said, man, I can't wait to get out her brains out, man. I said, how'd she feel about it? He said, man, she said she wants me as her brother. Too late for that, police. And he went out there on that, and you know what happened? She killed him. We're trying to take it. I mean, this is some crazy shit. Well, go ahead.
Did you prey on young black guys or white guys?
I didn't pray on no motherfucker. I took booty support. That's what I called it, booty support. That's what they give them motherfucker paying attention to. Booty support. And I needed that shit. I've been in there too long. Nothing's hot. I never hit a girl. Motherfucker want to offer me some booty support. Thank you. And matter of fact, I had a friend in there that did it on my birthday. Now, me and this dude, we fought. We fought. We were in stores together, gambling. We put parlays and pools out. And one day he said, "Fleece, you got everything you need in there." I said, "I know, bro." He said, "You got weed, we got real whiskey, we had that shit going on, man." And he said, "But I got something special for you today. And you gotta tell me, you gotta give me your word, you're gonna take it. Cause I know you." I said, "Yeah, man, you got my word, bro." He said, "Your word." I said, "My word." So we went into a little room in the gym. I said, "Where's it at?" I'm thinking it's gonna order me a keyboard or a guitar or some old shit, right? He dropped his pants, and that big old yellow butter of his popped out, and he sprayed that motherfucker. I said, "Man, put your pants up, bro." Like, no, this is my right? He said, "Man, you gave me your word, Fleece." I said, "Spray that again." I said, "Man, I gotta get up in this, man." And I got up in it. But here's what, I come in him twice, bro. I couldn't even, man, it was so good. I almost passed that. And I said, after it was over, the next day, we sell right across from each other. Eddyville, I broke that down in single sales now, right? That lawsuit did. And so he said, "Hey," he said, "we're gonna put some tickets and shit out there." I said, "Yeah, baby." He said, "Come on." I said, "Come on, what? What do you think, you steal my dog and all this shit, nigga? I done been up in you and got you pregnant and all this shit, nigga. Nigga, what the you talking about, nigga?" Come on, man. I said, "No, ain't shit changed, bro. Shit changed. You ain't my dog, you my baby, man. I love you, nigga." And nigga said, "Hey, Fleece, don't do that, man. You make me fight. Nigga, I'll beat you to death here, nigga, over that ass, nigga. What you mean, nigga? Stab, kill me, mother." And I went through shit like that in there. It's crazy. Your own, it's booty support. Like you going like you come off the street. You say, "How long you been like?" I said, "Man, I'm going on 30-something years, bro." "Damn, Felice, it's lab out there, man." I said, "Yeah, I heard, man. Them girls out there getting..." And then all of a sudden, you want to be generous? You want to be generous and feel sorry for me, give me some booty support, and all that shit, man. And sometimes you got to show ass to get ass. Yeah, in her too. You got to know how to flaunt your own ass. Poke it out, stick it out, make motherfucker interested, then you get him first. It's a whole lot of ways you go about that, man. So I want y'all to ask me some more questions. Feel free. Let's break this ice. Feel free to ask me some of the toughest, rawest ass questions you can ask some motherfuckers. Anything.
All right, I got a good one for you. This DJ Frank Knitter with Knitter TV. You say you was a booty warrior. Your first time you had sex was with a man, and how much you love booty. And you mentioned your wife don't want to give you booty, and you'd be mad about that. So, being that you was around men that long, like booty that long, what made you get married to a woman when you got out?
Well, the common sense thing is, when we were growing up, we all knew somewhere in our life that a man's supposed to be with a man, with a woman, not a man. The Adam and Eve, not the Adam and Steve, all that shit, right? And so, and when you get out, right? Now I took booty support in there, but I'm not in prison no more. So I'm out here where they got real motherfuckers out here. Cause see, a motherfucker tricked me one day, right? He said, since he had a big old ass, I've been wanting to touch his for a long time, right? And he been telling me, stop doing this for me because I got a husband in her. And y'all be fighting. I said, nigga, you know what I'm saying? I catch you bending over, nigga, I'm going up in you and all that. And then one day, he was bent over the table like this, legs spread. I said, this is it. I'm going to dig up in that motherfucker hard. But I forgot them sisters, they take their dick and they flip it and push it back to make it look like they got a. But the head of it is sticking out of the back of his goddamn pants like it's part of. See, I wasn't even. When I felt that, I gripped that motherfucker. I said, what the f is this? Motherfucker said, where you grab from? I said, well, hold up, man. What the f is this, man? Because he knew I was coming, right? And he pushed that motherfucker all the way back up. I said, damn. Hey, baby. I said, oh, shit. I said, what the f is this shit, motherfucker? And, but I went through a lot of stuff, ask me some more questions.
Earlier, you told me you would have chose LeBron to be your celly.
Yeah, he's cool.
My question is, would you would have tried LeBron?
Hell no. See, now let me get something straight. If a motherfucker's cool, he's cool. Just like my friend that gave me some booty support on my birthday, we was just like, man, we've been friends for about 18 years now, bro. Man, we had it going on, gambling, all that. And so, we was cool up to that point. When you booty support me, you my baby. That's all that dog shit, man, it's at the door. What kind of flowers you like? Can I get you some stuff,
Speaking of booty, is booty still more important than water?
Goddamn right. Boy, hey, yeah, hell yeah. Come tell you what. People say you need water to live. True. If you don't get no booty, you'll feel like you dead. So, and that's more than water. You can drink water, it only got a little taste to it. Booty got more than a taste. That mother got thrills and thrills and thrills and put chills in your body. So yeah, booty is always more important than water, man. Even that. And see, people don't realize that, cause like I was telling my agent, I said when they come in prison, like out here, they run the streets, mess with all the girls in the town, right? Then they get locked up. Well, your sex drive goes with you. It goes with you in it, and then you sitting there watching motherfuckers suck dicks all day and getting in the ass and some of them sisters look good. Man, I'm telling you, man, I met one, man, I dared you better not even cuss in front of him. That type of shit. Motherfucker, you better not even cuss in front of him, bro. And Dean, I went into some shit where they were so freaky in this prison where if you fought, don't fart in there, man. I tried to show off one day, it went, motherfucker said, oh, God damn, speak to me, old toothless one. Who did that? Who is Juicy? Who is talking to me? Somebody want to get pregnant? Who is it? Say, who was that? Was that you, Fleece? And I looked, I said, no, man. I said, I don't believe he did that shit. So they looked at dude, man. They went after him. Yeah. Said, that shit. So if I got fought, man, I take that shit outside somewhere, man. I ain't with all that old, man, it was freaky and all. And then they had dude in there that took he made a real doll out of a mattress and cotton. When they had them cotton mattresses then, he made them a doll, right? Called it Lucy. And put some Jello, made a little thing where he put Jello and pudding and shit up in the plate. And then it, right? And it shit stinks, right? He had the whole goddamn wall stinks. So when we got a new warden, a new administration, they said, I want that nasty ass die. I said, boy, it's gonna be a murder charge at this one. He said, throw that the thing away. So they went up to what was his name? Leroy right dude. He worked out back and he was worried quiet. And he said, "Can I help y'all?" Real respectful. They said, "We come to get Lucy there." He said, "Well, she don't need to go to the hospital." He said, "No, we can ready to throw her away. We not playing that game with you, buddy." He said, "No, you are not messing with my Lucy and all that shit." So there it goes, man. So I stuck my. He said, "Anybody put your mirror out the door, you go into the hole, all that shit." They don't want nobody to see what's getting ready to happen. They get it out, they fighting this. They get him out, drag him out by his feet and all they handcuff him and wrestle him. So they let him watch. They go and let him watch him turn loose his head off, kick that thing in the stomach, threw it over the rail and all that, bag that nasty thing up. And dude did about 18 months in the hole, got out, cut that girl's head almost off, buddy. There was some sick motherfuckers down there. I seen all kinds of shit. Like down in the hole where I was at, they had rats down there. They would come up through the hole in the toilet that you sat on. They come up through the hole. Shake their shit off like a dog, and you go, ah! They hump up on it. You ain't scaring them. They'll jump off the edge. See, them toilets in there, I don't know if y'all seen one like it. Our toilet had a brick wall, made a brick going around the whole toilet. So when you sit on your legs be out like that. So when I use the toilet, I just do this. Fuck that shit. Because it's nasty anyway, right? So then rats will jump off the thing and go up under the bed. And they ain't have no mattress or nothing. None of them beds got little holes in it. And I sit on the bed, every time I felt something, almost licked my ass. What the I said, hold on. So when they bring the food, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I throw all the food outside the door and they'll go to it and eat it. They was taking all my shit, man. So one day I was real mad. Go ahead, me mad as man. I'm sitting there like him. I said, you dick sucking motherfucker, y'all. Bitch. And one of them stuck his head out. I was so mad I grabbed him. I grabbed that thing, brushed his head. I said, I'm sick of you. Ran on the bed. I got bit about 5 or 6 times by that shit. I grabbed them motherfuckers. You coming out of here. I killed all them motherfuckers. I threw them, I splattered the wall with them. And rubbed it all over the wall. So I can see what they think about this. They said, oh, God. So all them girls come. I said, yeah, I killed all them motherfuckers. They said, easy. They said, easy. Then they built me one of them cells like Hannibal Collector, fiberglass cells. They built one of them. I had to get out of that motherfucker. And, man, I went through so much shit in there, man.
As the booty warrior, have you ever ate booty before? And do you like to get your booty ate?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I was writing somebody in Texas, a sister, you know, pen pal in prison. You write a girl, they ain't sending you shit. Write them sisters, they going to send you money. So we had all kinds of games. You know, we'd write out, buy pictures from you, tell them it's me. All this shit, right? And so I had one sister to get his trust. I had to give him my mama's address. I said, call my mama and, you know, tell her I'm doing all right, but don't be talking like a woman and all this shit. He said, I am a woman. I said, okay. So mama said, some girl called me and she had mama convinced. I said, yeah, so after I took all his money, I'm done with him. This motherfucker's talking about he gonna be at the front gate whenever I come out. No, you ain't, motherfucker. You go on about your business. He took all my letters and sent them to my mama. Them letters where I talking about eating his ass and all this shit. So I called my mama. She said, usually I can tell she's in a good mood. She said, hi, baby. I said, hey, mama. She said, hey. I said, what's wrong? She said, don't they feed y'all in there? I said, yeah. She said, what's all this stuff about eating ass? Oh my God, I have never heard of nothing so nasty, right? But yeah, I had my ass ate before, and that shit had me on my toes, man. I mean, goddamn, I poked that, eat this, hell yeah, like, yeah, shit.
But have you ever ate
Yeah,
booty?
I did, and loved it, every bit of it. I told you, I used to think, them motherfuckers had my head so up. I thought I got a pregnant. I thought when I was eating his ass, I was eating a real pussy. This is the way you're supposed to do it and all this shit. Well, I say, come on, Fleece, man. This turn you up, man. Yeah.
So now that you're free,
Yeah.
and when you go to store or something and you see a homosexual or something, do it cross your mind like, well, we was in a joint, I had that boy, or I wouldn't mind sneaking off and
No, never. But I'm tell you what though, I've seen now let me take it back. That is a good one because before I got out of the halfway house and solved that problem, they had a sissy that they brought from the prison, had titties and shit. They had two of them. And one of them knew me from prison, right? And I never with him in there, but he just knew me, right? He knew who I with when I was in there and all this shit. So and the other one, they had titties and shit. He had titties, a big old ass, and they used to come down there and by my room, and I had I was getting ready to turn one of them up. No, for real, but it didn't work out like that. They got into an argument. Then the argument went up front, and then came back like I was responsible, and they put me out of there.
okay. Joker,
Yeah.
okay, he can hear you now. Ask him.
Okay. All right. This is of course Joker with Prison Stories 101. The first question I had is, did you ever want to escape prison? And if so, did you ever try?
Yeah, I wanted to escape, but I got shipped. I got shipped before I could try. I escaped out of every place I've been to except penitentiary in jail. Then them guards down there, they sharpshooters. Man, they killed one guy about a can too. Guard was way over across that, and he had a weapon on another end, man. The guard took a shot, and just one shot. They not gonna miss.